Hello, and welcome back to another video from trainingride.com. And in this video, we will be talking about how we could be running SoapUI tests from the command line. Well, running functional tests from the command line is pretty straightforward. It doesn't require you to do anything crazy because basically you just need to invoke the test runner, and you could either have a batch file which you could schedule, or you could execute the command using the test runner, and that is going to basically invoke the test which you want to run. Well, as a part of our course, if you go to trainingride.com and then look for under the course catalog, if you look for the SoapUI Web Services Training, you'll come across our course outline, what we cover in the course, and then as you can see over here, these are the major topics that we cover, what you are going to be learning in here. And one of the topics is how you could be running the SoapUI from the command line. Well, in this short video, I'm going to be quickly going and then showing you how to do that. Well, for that, first of all, we have to look into what kind of SoapUI project which we are going to be running. And for that, I will, first of all, I'll open SoapUI and then show you a project which we could have executed from either the pro version or from the open source version. So using the tool, we could execute any particular project, or the same can be done from the command line. So let me just quickly walk you through how the project gets executed from the tool itself. So here is what I have. We have a TrainingRide web service, and if you look into the interface of this web service, there are a few operations in here. The operations are, you could go and then do a generic search, and you could look into the login. You could search our website using this web service for any particular course, and where we are offering it, so it'll give you all the courses by location, and the price range and the schedule, and then all that good stuff. All right, so what I have done is on our website, the TrainingRide, we have a trainingride.net website, and that is basically used for testing all of our web services or different things. I mean, if you're a QTP student, if you're a Selenium student, we have builds here which you could be testing. So what in this scenario, what I have done is I have used right here, I've used the username and password. I've used my web service for that, and the web service which I've used is the following. So the login. So if I quickly show you the login, the request for the login. The request for the login, basically, if we look into the request and the response of that, the request requires you to pass certain parameters. The parameters which you are passing for the request is the student, the username and the password. So whatever is the username and the password, when you send that, it is going to, based on what the username and password is, it is going to give you access to the system or not give you access to the system. So if I run this single request, let us see what kind of response we get. So with this username and password, you would be successfully logging into the system. Well, so in order to really test this, we have to go and then create a test suite, and that's what I have done over here. I've created a test suite, and in the test suite, if I expand and show you the different number of tests over here. For this login, what I have done is I have parameterized it. So I have the data coming from an Excel sheet. So I'm going to quickly take you into how I did the parameterization of that. We have this data source, and data source is pointing to my Excel sheet. So if I take you to the Excel sheet, it is in my C drive, SoapUI training folder test data. So let me quickly take you there. Here is my SoapUI and this is the test data. In here, I have that uh, training right web service test data. So let's look into that. Let me just open it up so that you can take a look. It's a small set of data, about 8 to 10 different combination of usernames and passwords. So let us look into that. So the username, these are basically the different parameters which we pass, and then this is the expected results, and this is basically the actual results. So let us see what happens over here. So the parameters which I'll be passing is the username. We have different usernames, like a SoapUI student. Password is a password, and then the subscription ID which I need is whatever. And then when I pass this combination, it might come back with the wrong username. If I pass that combination, it'll again fail. But if I pass this combination, it'll pass. So we have different, as you can see, we have different sets of data. So now let us see how we do the parameterization and how it is going to go and then do things. So here is my data source and here is my login. So I have configured my data source to point to that Excel sheet, and we have created these three properties to bring the data. So if everything is all right, I should be able to get those the data over here. So this is the data which we'll be passing. This data practically would be, at the time of the execution of the test, would be sitting into these properties, and then that's basically what I am parameterizing here. So once I parameterize that set of data, then I also have a data source loop which is going to loop back, and then but in between I have used something called a data sync, and I'll give you the reason why I've used that data sync, because I want to configure some special reports. So for that purpose, I've used that data sync. You could also use the data sync to capture the data which is coming back from the web service. So if you look into my data sync, I have basically used that data sync. Again, I have created a bunch of properties in here. The properties are basically coming in the data sync, have been configured as coming from the data source, and also this response data is nothing but it is the response which we are getting for the login request. Now that data will be basically can be exported into any format as you want. And the data sync can be created as a sub report, and then that sub report can be used in the reporting of your SoapUI reporting. So that's all customization of your SoapUI reports using the sub reports, and data sync is basically kind of like a placeholder holding all that data from there. If I go ahead and then execute this test, and as you can see over here, I have a whole complete test suite, and but in this case, I'm going to be executing the this test case. So if I run that, as you are seeing, parameterization of data is happening, and we are pulling that data from that Excel sheet, and that's being passed, and eventually it has completed. Now, if I would go and then pull my reports, now there can be, if out of the box, if you see, you have the test case report, you have the JUnit style HTML report, and you could export the data. If I want to export the data, I can export the data, and the fact that I've used the data sync, that's where I would be exporting the data. So I will select the data sync, and I will say that this data could be either in the XML format or the comma separated values. So, and where am I going to save that data? I can save the data into any one of the folders. So I just for the heck of it right now, I will just go into C drive, and I'm going to be saving it into C drive, and C drive. And now if I hit OK, now in my C drive, we should be getting that data over here. That's my data which I just got. It's you could take a look in the time. It's 2:38 a.m. and over here is you see 2:38. So that's when we got the data back. So if I open this, it's an XML data because that's what we wanted. And if I open it, I could see that this is the response which we got, right? So the response we got was it is returning back, let's say my password and my ID and my username, and whether this was a good combination or a bad combination. So that's what it is returning, right? So now, so this test, I have executed this test from the SoapUI Pro tool. If I have to do the same from the command line, let's say this we want to configure it so that every night when we have all of these tests should be executed at a predefined time, at a scheduled time. So for that, I have to know how to execute this test from a command line. And the way I could do that is basically I have to write the command. And the command for that would be, first of all, I'm going to bring up, I'm going to be showing you over here, and then later on we can make it as a batch file and then execute that batch file at a scheduled time. So let me do a cd change directory, go back. Now I need to go and then run a test runner. So the test runner, if you see, it is going to be residing on the folder where I have installed my SoapUI. So I have installed SoapUI into my program files. So if I take you into program files, and in program files there is a folder called SmartBear, and in SmartBear we have both the open source 4.01 and then the in fact, I guess these are both pro versions. This is the older version, this is the newer version. So let us go into the newer version, and in the bin directory you will have all of your batch files. So I will be running this test runner batch file. So to execute this from the command line, I have to give certain commands, and that first of all I have to navigate myself to this unless I have configured it into the environment variables. So for this purpose I have not, so I have to navigate myself to that folder, and for that I would be saying cd change directory and go to C program files and in program files, okay, I am there, and then I'll say cd SmartBear folder, and in that SmartBear folder I have cd soap UI -pro, and I'm just doing this, as you can see up here. That's basically what I'm doing. So I could have taken the whole thing, and I could have come over here, and I could have done that, or let me just type it out. So SoapUI -pro -4.5.0. So that's where we are, cd bin. All right, so we are here now. Now I have to invoke this. Test runner. So when I say test runner dot batch file, now here are certain switches which I could pass. Now the switches which I'm passing here depends on what exactly you're looking for. First of all, I am looking to execute that test which we ran over here, right? So this test, this training right web service June 02, 2012. So for me to do that, I have to, while executing that test, because that test is sitting in my C drive, that is sitting in my C drive in a folder called SoapUI Projects. So this is my SoapUI projects, and as you can see, I have so many projects. So this is the one which I need to execute. This is the one which I need to run from the command line. So for me to run that. And when I run it, do I want to produce any report? Do I want to produce any report? And if I want to produce any report, what format do I want that report to be? Do I want that in a PDF format or comma delimited format? What kind of format? So in the command line, we could give all those switches. So there is a switch uppercase F, and that is going to basically produce the report, right? Now, if you have to produce the report in the PDF format, then we could say, so this is format, what format? PDF. And now you will say, render for me a report. So R, and then that report is whatever report you want to give, the name of the report. So I want to call this, this is a project report, project report. Okay. Now, after that, now we will, we have to point now to where we want that report to be printed, where we want that report to be printed. Well, so let's say I want that report to be printed at a particular path. So I will go with a hyphen lowercase f and then give the path where I want it to get spitted out. So the path is, let's say I want it on C drive. So C colon backslash, and do I want it in C drive or do I want it in a particular folder? If I want it in a particular folder, I could give the address of the folder. So let's say SoapUI training folder. So I have a SoapUI training. So that's where it could go. Now all this is good, but then we have never mentioned what test do we want to invoke. So let's do that. So basically I have to go and then give the path of the SoapUI project which I need to execute. So the SoapUI project which I need to execute is this one. So since it is sitting here, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna copy that and come over here and give the address. So the address for that basically would be, I will right click on here and then type that. So this is C colon SoapUI training SoapUI underscore project, and this is that project. So let me just even copy that, because typing could result in a mistake. So I'm just taking the names. That's all. So that's the name of my project. Okay. So let us take a look one more time into the command which we have. So we navigated ourselves to the SoapUI directory into the bin directory, and we want to invoke from the bin directory. I want to invoke the test runner batch. So the test runner, and then I have to give the switches. Switches. This is I want to print a report. The format of the report is in the PDF, and when that report comes out, I want to name the report as project report. And this is the path, or this is the directory where I want that report to be. This is the directory where I want the report to be printed. And then all this is good, but then this is printing the report for what project. So we have to mention the name of the project and then the path of where the project is. So that's what I did. That's all to it. If you hit enter, if everything is good, okay, that it has invoked it, right? As you can see, it has invoked it. And now, if there is any error, there seems to be some error here. So let us look into what kind of error we got. This is, let me see, abstract command line, abstract java.com, 58, okay, failed to load SoapUI project path, right? An error occurred, here is that, an error occurred, failed to load the SoapUI project path. SoapUI training, SoapUI projects training dash web dash service dash June dash SoapUI project. Okay, the reason for that is there was no XML, so we did not. So I will do an F3 to repeat the whole command. And here at the end, I should have mentioned XML, because all of these projects are XML projects. Okay, hit enter now. Now everything should be fine. As you can see, it is executing it. That parameterization of data is happening in the, and behind the scenes, everything is getting executed. And then at the end, we should get a report. And as you can see, the last line here is created report. The name of the report is project report. To the path SoapUI training. So if I go to SoapUI training folder, I should see that. So here I am in the SoapUI training folder, and I should see a report generated here. And I call that report as project report. So this is a project report. The time now is 2:49 a.m. and that's what it is, 2:49. So let's open that and see what we have in here. And lo and behold, what we have is the report which we just generated here. So what is the report saying here? Whether the test pass or a fail or things like that. So the base metrics over here is the total number of steps were 9, and if I had things like project properties and all that, they would have shown up. So this, it's saying that this is the project results for the training right web service. And when did it started and when did it end, how much time it took, total test suite which we have done. I mean, in this case, I just ran one. In real life, you would have probably hundreds of test cases which you are going to be running in there. So I had only one test case, and in that test case, I had parameterization going on. So that is what it took like about that time. And the total number of step count were 33 because of the sets of data, I guess. And it finished, and the green status green says that it was passed, everything was good. Now if you need to see, this is the test case results. It is giving you everything about it, and this is basically the test steps it executed. These are the test steps it executed. Now if you really wanted to see the data which came out of it, right, what kind of data came out of it, we could also do that. We could also print, we could export the data as you have seen in any particular format, or we could also go to the extent that we could create the SoapUI reports. We could create, and in that SoapUI reports, we could bring all the data which we got. And the data which we receive, if you see here, this is this would have been the data which we would have received, because this data is what is coming back. This is the response data, as you can see. This is the response data. So if I make some space and show it to you, that's the response data which we received from the web service based on what we passed to the web service. Well, now we can go to the point where we could do some real customization of the reports by taking you in here and then showing you out of the box. There is a minimum number of reports, but in real life that is not going to be sufficient for you. So you want to bring in data. You want to bring in data from different places and produce a report. For instance, what if you need to create a report and that report shows only the data which you have captured from the web service. If so, I have created something like test case response report, right? Now, in order to create a report like that, you have to go and then you have to configure what is called the Jasper templates, right? So in our course, we talked about all such things, how to configure that, because you have to create some sub-reports, and even for the sub-reports, you have to write your own Jasper template. And the Jasper template, which I have written here, this is pretty straightforward. And in our course, we talk in great detail about what is involved in terms of creating this Jasper templates. It is in one of the other videos I'm hosting on YouTube. You might have seen that I talked briefly about what goes into a Jasper report. There are different sections and all that. So when you come to the course, when you take that course from trainingride.com, we will go ahead and then show you everything else, how to customize this reports, how to create the sub reports, and any sort of data which you need to bring in into these reports. You could do that. If this sounds something interesting which you want to do, then please take a look into our course and look into what kind of contents we are covering in here. So here is all the details. We do a lot of Groovy. We do Groovy because Groovy is very important. I just don't believe that you could be a good automation tester unless and until you know as how to write the script. So if you can just click and not script, then you're not an automation test engineer. You have to know as how to write Groovy scripts, and that's what we will be doing. So this is a pretty in-depth course. The cost of the course is $399, and but you could save a lot if you go with the package course. So here are the package prices. You could for $699 you could get like 3 courses. So if this is something which you really want to do contact us. Visit our website www.trainingride.com. If you are in US, you could give us a call at 732-998-6650. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you in another video, or better yet, if you could be our student and we could see you in one of our classes. Thank you again for your time.